I was 6 years old when I realized I was extra, not unwanted, not unloved, just a side effect. It was my 6th birthday. Balloons, paper crowns, a plastic kitty throne from IKEA my dad called my royal seat. We had a clown booked. Grandma was making her famous raspberry cake. I was running around the house in a pink dress that itched like hell, but I felt like a princess, like this was my day. Then my mom burst into the room. Her eyes were wide, her voice tight like she was holding it together with tape. "Sweetheart, I'm sorry, but we have to cancel the party. Emily's not doing well today. She's having another panic episode, but everyone's already coming, we'll call them. You understand, don't you? She can't handle this kind of stress. Her therapist said we need to be careful. You're a big girl now, right?" I was 6, and apparently a big girl, because my sister was having anxiety. The clown never showed. The balloons drooped. The cake never got cut. I stood in the living room wearing my itchy princess dress, not crying, because in our house, if you cried when Emily was upset, you were selfish. And that's just how it was. Always, Emily got into a car accident at age 5, 3 years before I was born, paralyzed from the waist down. She became the center of the household. Everything revolved around her. Hospitals, therapists, lawsuits, specialists, all day, every day. My mom called her our little fighter. Dad said she was our miracle. And me, I was the healthy one, the quiet one, the one who could understand. When I turned 8, I begged to be signed up for ballet. I was obsessed, twirling in the kitchen, drawing tutus in my notebook. My mom finally gave in. For 3 whole months, I danced. Then came the talk. "Honey, Emily's new therapy is very expensive. We can't afford both. Ballet is just a hobby. Her treatment is essential." I nodded. "Because if you didn't agree, you were a monster." There was this one time I scraped my knee real bad at school. I came home sobbing, bleeding through my jeans. My dad looked at me and said, "Well, at least you can fall down." Emily would kill to have that privilege. "Yup, thanks, Dad. I'll try to be more grateful next time I eat pavement." Emily was demanding. If she didn't get what she wanted, she'd cry, scream, or stop speaking. Anxiety attacks, they called them. I stopped believing they were real around the age of 10. Sometimes they felt more like tantrums, especially when they magically ended the second she got what she wanted. When I was 11, I won an art contest at school. I was glowing, proud. I ran home, picture in hand, ready to show it off. No one looked. That was the day Emily had a fight with an online friend and locked herself in her room sobbing. Mom stroked her hair. Dad made soup. Me, I sat in the hallway holding my drawing, alone. As I got older, I stopped asking. I didn't invite friends over. Emily didn't like noise. I didn't enter contests, too risky. I didn't ask for gifts. What if Emily had a bad day and it got canceled anyway? Birthdays were a formality. Cake with no candles. Emily hated the smell of wax. No music. No decorations that were too much. Laughter had to be low volume. Fireworks were out of the question. Emily had migraines. I became a shadow, not because I was shy, but because it was safer. Shadows don't offend. Shadows don't interrupt. Shadows don't get yelled at for being too much. I tried once. At 14, I cut off all my hair in the bathroom. Not out of rebellion, out of desperation. I just wanted someone to notice me. My dad looked at me and said, "Please tell me you didn't do this because of Emily." That'd be really petty. I didn't respond, because if I said yes, I was awful. And if I said no, no one would believe me. At 16, I ran away, not far, just to a friend's house across town. I didn't answer my phone, stayed away for a whole day. When I came back, no one had even noticed I was gone. "Oh, we thought you were at the library," my mom said. "Please don't do that again." You really upset Emily. Sure. Of course, Emily had another anxiety attack because I was missing. Not because this house was emotionally freezing. I grew up learning one rule: if you're hurting, shut up about it. Because someone nearby is hurting louder. I stopped wanting, stopped needing. I became background noise. Now I'm an adult. I'm getting married. And for once in my damn life, I just want it to be about me, not about how Emily might feel. Not about how Emily might struggle with the sand at the beach. Not about her trauma or her wheelchair or her needs. I just want one day where I'm not a footnote, where I get to be the main character. For the longest time, I believed that adulthood would be my reset button. Like, sure, childhood was rough, you're stuck in the house, you don't get to choose, everything's decided for you. But once I turned 18, I thought, this is it, my time. I get to say no now. Yeah, no, when guilt is wired into you from birth, it doesn't matter if you live 1,000 miles away, you'll still pick up the phone at 3 a.m. and listen to her cry about how she's alone, and feel like garbage for even hesitating. Prom night, mine. The one day I thought might actually be about me. I had the dress. Found it on secondhand Facebook listings. My friend did my makeup. First time in heels. First time I looked in the mirror and thought, hey, I'm real. I exist. I'm not just a backdrop. Then Emily arrived. She took one look at my dress and started crying. I'll never be able to wear something like that. Then, you're going to dance tonight, right, in front of everyone. Wow, I wish I had that luxury. Mom came to me, whispering urgently like we were plotting some war strategy. Could you maybe wear something else, something less, I don't know, revealing, just so Emily doesn't feel worse? I didn't change, but I didn't smile in any of the pictures either. We left the party early. Emily didn't feel well. I spent the night eating microwave rice while she told me how her online friend ghosted her. Happy prom. When I left for college in another city, it felt like I'd finally cut the cord. I made friends. Nobody knew I was the girl with the disabled sister. No guilt trips. Number 3 a.m. emergencies. It was the best I'd ever felt. Didn't last long. She started texting, then calling, then guilt-tripping me over Instagram. Must be nice, having a life. I saw your stories. You had cake. Wonder what it's like to have people celebrate you. Your friends look fun. I'm glad you can still smile while I'm stuck here. I started hiding my stories from her. Then I stopped posting it all. Then I deleted the whole account. Because in her world, my happiness was betrayal. Then there was Nate, first boyfriend who actually treated me well. Funny, kind, nerdy, the good kind of awkward. I brought him home once. Emily greeted him with her usual passive-aggressive charm. I hope you're not the type to bail when things get difficult. She's really emotionally distant sometimes. It's a trauma thing. I get it. I've known her longer. You know, with you around, I finally get to rest a little. Thanks for that. Then she dropped this one at dinner. You know I come as part of the package, right? Like, we're kind of a 2-for-1 deal. He broke up with me a month later. Said he felt like he was in a throuple, and the third person was very much not okay. My mom started acting like Emily's PR manager. I'd say something like, I'm exhausted, and she'd reply, Emily's having a hard time too. I'd ask for space, and she'd accuse me of being cruel. They treated Emily's right to feel safe as more important than my right to breathe. One night, I didn't pick up the phone. Just once. I had a big work thing the next morning, an actual career opportunity. In the morning, I had 50 unread messages. I get it. You don't care anymore. I was crying and you ignored me. You used to be there for me. I guess I was wrong about you. Don't worry, I won't bother you again. Then came the call from Mom. Emily's devastated. She thinks you've abandoned her. Couldn't you have just answered for 1 minute? And that's when I realized, in this family, 1 minute of my life is worth less than 1 minute of her fear. Then came Alex, my now fiancé. He watched me freeze up every time my mom called. He saw how I stopped posting on social media out of fear. And one day he looked at me and said, you don't have to be your family's emotional support animal. It hit me like a truck. No one had ever told me that before. I'd grown up being told, you matter when you're useful. You matter when you carry someone else's pain. But here was someone saying, you just matter, period. And then came the wedding. And of course, here comes Emily. A beach wedding. I won't be able to move in the sand. You didn't even ask me to be a bridesmaid. Are you trying to exclude me? Like always. Not because I'm cruel, but because I'm finally living my own damn life. When Alex proposed, my first thought wasn't yes, or I love him, or even the dress. My first thought was, how do I keep Emily from ruining this? Romantic, right? That's what happens when you grow up in a family where any joyful occasion is expected to include a generous serving of Emily's tears. Otherwise, it's unfair. And now that I finally had something just for myself, I was already bracing for the battle. But this time, I made a decision. No, this day would be mine. No apologies. No, let's try to make everyone feel included. No sacrificing my peace for someone else's crisis. My wedding, my rules. The first big choice. The beach. I dreamed of a beach wedding since I was a kid. No banquet halls, no polyester tablecloths, no dusty fake flowers. Just the ocean, the wind, barefoot in the sand. It felt symbolic. Like freedom, like breathing. The second my mom heard about it, she hit me with, what about Emily? She can't use her wheelchair in the sand. I know, I said. So you're just ignoring that? I'm choosing what matters to me. I don't want a haul. I don't want to compromise. Silence, heavy, judgmental. Then, you know how she's going to take this, right? She can take it however she wants. This is not her wedding. Next came the bridal party. I picked 3 of my closest friends. No cousins, no forced family gestures. I already knew if I included Emily, it'd turn into a performance. Her performance. Cue the circus. A few days later, my mom called. Emily assumed she'd be in your bridal party. She's already been looking at dresses. She's upset. I didn't ask her to do that. I'm not choosing her. But can't you do something to make her feel included? She's included. Just not in this. This is my day. That was the first time I said it, out loud, without sorry, without I understand. Emily escalated in phases. First, passive. If it means that much to you, I just won't be in the party. Then, manipulative. I really thought you were the one person who always understood me. Then, accusatory. You're ashamed of me. Admit it. You don't want a cripple in your photos. And finally, theatrical. Don't worry, I won't come at all. I wouldn't want to ruin your perfect day. I'm sure you're relieved. I read the messages while sitting in front of a spreadsheet titled Wedding Budget. I didn't feel angry or hurt. Just drained, like someone had wrung me out like an old rag. Meanwhile, my mom called every single day. Emily's crying. Emily's locked herself in her room. Emily said you betrayed her. Emily feels like she's no longer part of the family. All of this while I was trying to pick vendors, book a tent, coordinate catering, and compare goddamn napkin colors. Every choice I made had a shadow looming over it. What will Emily think? Color palette, too bright. That might trigger her. Menu? Don't forget, Emily has food sensitivities. Guest cabins? There's no ramp. Are you guys actively trying to sabotage the wedding? Alex asked one night. Is this a ceremony or a hostage negotiation? I laughed. Then I cried. Then came the family dinner, a classic guilt ambush. I went mostly out of curiosity. I needed to confirm I wasn't crazy. Mom started with her calm voice. Your father and I talked. We understand this is hard for you, but maybe there's a compromise. What kind of compromise? Emily won't be a bridesmaid, but she would like to give a speech, just 5 minutes. She wants to feel like part of the day. I exhaled hard. So you want me, on my wedding day, to hand the mic to the person who said I'm a fake and a coward? She didn't mean it like that. She's just hurting, and I'm not, Dad jumped in. You're being too sensitive. This isn't just about you. This is about family. Can something for once in my entire goddamn life be about me? They didn't answer. Eventually, Dad muttered, if you don't invite her, it'll cause a fracture. You won't recover from this. Then let it break, I said. I'm done being emotionally blackmailed. And I left. No tears, no screaming. I just stood up and walked out. For the first time ever, I chose me. The next day, the calls started. Relatives, cousins, aunts. All variations of, it's just a wedding, don't make it a war. You're overreacting. How will you live with this afterward? I asked one of them. Do you know who's paying for this wedding? You and Alex. Do you know how many things I gave up in life for Emily? Well, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? And now that I say no, suddenly I'm the villain. Silence. Because deep down, they knew I was right, but it was inconvenient to admit. So here I am, standing my ground. For the first time, the wedding will be on the beach. Emily won't be a bridesmaid. She won't give a speech. She won't dominate the day. And if my family decides that makes me selfish or cruel or not part of the circle anymore, so be it. Because for once in my life, this is about me. I really thought the worst was over. That once I said no to the speech, no to the bridesmaid dress, no to the ramp and the hall and the pastel family performance, all I had left was finalizing the seating chart, picking a playlist, and trying not to commit murder over floral invoices. Spoiler, the real hell was just beginning. First came the calls, one by one. Relatives I hadn't heard from since the Obama administration started blowing up my phone. Grandma, 83, asthmatic, 2 heart attacks but sharp as a damn dagger. I heard you cut your sister out of the wedding. Is it true? I didn't cut her out. I just set boundaries. Boundaries with family. You don't set boundaries with family. You love them, even when it's hard, Uncle Dan. I always thought you were level-headed. But this is going too far. You don't even know the full story. I don't need to. I know you're leaving your disabled sister alone on a day when everyone should be together. Want conflict at your wedding? You'll get it. A cousin sent a tearful voice note. I don't want to choose sides. Why are you making us choose? Wait, I'm making you choose. Not the one throwing a tantrum over not standing next to me in a matching dress. A few days later, one of Alex's friends, one of those annoyingly diplomatic types, texted, just wondering, are you sure you're not overreacting a little? This day is supposed to be about love, not war. Ah yes, love, the version of love I was taught always came with strings attached. You love someone, you sacrifice for them. You don't want to sacrifice, you don't love hard enough. When I tried to vent to Alex, he looked at me with that same half-rage, half-heartbreak expression he'd been wearing for weeks. Is this normal? He asked. Like, do people really get threatened with family exile for choosing a beach venue? Standard practice, I said. Happiness is only valid if Emily isn't crying. Then came the blow that almost shattered me. My dad called. He usually stayed out of the mess. Neutral, background noise. But this time he decided to speak up. Hi, I just want to talk. No pressure. Okay, your mom and I were worried. We really are. Because we see you changing. Changing how? You're colder, harsher. Not the girl you used to be. The one who brushed Emily's hair when she was too weak to do it herself. I didn't answer right away. That girl grew up, and she's exhausted. He was quiet. But do you understand how we'll look if Emily isn't at the wedding? So it's not even about her anymore. It's about how you look. You're making all of us look terrible. No, Dad. I just stopped being the flashlight that shines only on Emily. I want some of that light on me. And apparently that's too much for everyone. When my mom found out that Alex agreed with me, she said, of course. A man shows up and ruins everything we've built for years. Are you really ready to lose your whole family over him? Over him? No, over myself. Then came the worst part, a call from Lena, my best friend, since high school. The one who used to bring me soup when I was sick and hold my hair while I cried over shitty exes. Can I be honest? She asked. Always. I get why you're mad. I do. But maybe you're going too far. What do you mean? It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Maybe just give her something small. A speech, a front row seat. You're still the bride. You win. I froze. There it was, the first real doubt. Not from a relative, but from someone who knew me. Do you think I'm the villain? No, just, maybe you've become kind of harsh, because I set a boundary for once, because you used to be different. I used to be a doormat, Lena, not a person. And now that I've picked myself for the first time, everyone's acting like I burned down a village. She didn't reply. I just don't want you to regret this later. Not because of Emily, because you'll end up all alone. What if everyone only loved me when I didn't ask for anything back? And still, after all the messages, all the fights, all the support from Alex, I sat in my kitchen at 2 a.m. staring at the seating chart thinking, wouldn't it be easier to give in? Let her do the damn speech and everyone shuts up. What if I really am going too far? Doubt is like mold, slow, silent, and deadly. And if you've lived with it long enough, you don't trust your own clarity, even when it's crystal clear. Alex walked in, didn't say anything at first, just wrapped his arms around me. Then he said, you're not cruel, you're tired. And for the first time in your life, you said, enough. That doesn't make you a monster, it makes you real, I cried, because no one had ever told me that before. The morning of the wedding was strangely quiet. No meltdowns, no new angry voicemails from my mom screaming, you're the last person on earth with a soul, just the sky, the ocean breeze, a makeup artist humming Beyonce, and Alex handing me a to-go coffee with a smirk. You're the most important person on this beach, he said. Even the seagulls are shook. For the first time in weeks, I smiled. Genuinely, 2 hours before the ceremony, I stepped outside the little beach house where my bridesmaids were getting ready. And there she was, Emily, in her wheelchair, no makeup, hair pulled back in a messy knot, tired, older, real. Hey, she said. You came, not to the wedding, just to talk. My chest clenched. I didn't know what was coming, an ambush, more guilt, a final performance. But I nodded. We sat out back in the shade, just the two of us, silence. Then she spoke. You think I didn't know? Know what? That you were always in the background, that everything revolved around me, that you swallowed resentment and smiled through it. I said nothing. I was 5. I didn't choose this, but eventually it got comfortable. Everyone tiptoed around me. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to give anything back. But you saw me disappearing. I did. And I was scared, because if you left, then it'd be just me. Alone, so you watched me get eaten alive and said nothing. I felt guilty too, okay? Every time you smiled on a day that should have been yours, and everyone made it about me. Every time I heard you crying in your room, and Mom said, don't disturb Emily. I knew. Silence. I finally said, "Then why didn't you stop it?" "Because I'm weak. You think you're the only one who got hurt. I'm not just a disability. I'm a person who constantly felt like I had to be special to deserve space. If I wasn't extraordinary, I was just broken. And I clung to that attention like oxygen." I swallowed hard. Then she asked, "Do you really not want me there?" And there it was, the question. I looked her straight in the eye. "I don't know. Are you angry?" "Yes." "Do you hate me?" "Sometimes." "Then tell me this. If we switched places, would you be able to forgive?" And I froze. Because honestly, I didn't know. If I were in the wheelchair and she got the dances and the birthdays. If she laughed, ate cake, and I got the wall. If everyone called her brave and forgot I existed. If my entire life was this balance between guilt and pity, would I have done anything differently? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'd cling to the scraps of control too. The ceremony started on time. Emily didn't show up. I didn't know if she'd ever meant to. Maybe she drove by, looked out the window, and left. Maybe she stayed nearby. Maybe she just gave me silence. I stood under the flower arch holding Alex's hand, listening to waves and vows and someone softly crying in the background. Maybe from joy, maybe from something no one else understood. And while the officiant read our vows, I thought about her question. If you were me, would you be able to forgive? She didn't give me an answer. But for the first time in my life, I didn't need one.